Alright, good morning. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's that time of day when we wake up. We'd grab a toy from the Random Object Randomogrifier where I have about 400 toys. Get a cup of coffee. Throw the toy up on the stage over there and we draw it. And then we chit-chat while we do it. I put cayenne in my coffee every morning, and this morning, because of all the pollen around here, it is really burning my throat. And it's both very painful and fantastic. Alright. How's everybody doing? Hey, I have a question for you. My mom and dad get into the chat room. I don't know. I think they start logging in about 4 to be here by 5:30. And I'm curious, what do you see on the screen? Is there a countdown? There's supposed to be a countdown, but I can't see it. All I can see is what I'm preparing to do. And so I'm curious if there's a countdown or what there is. Today's toy is a Nudist from a miniature. It's a decoration for a miniature train set, for a model train set. I have no idea how accurate this is going to be to the toy, because it is very, very tiny. I think there may be quite a bit of filling in the blanks. You can see I have a magnifying lens. Mom says there's a countdown. Good. You can see I have a magnifying lens here, and even that, even with that, this is still very, very tiny. So, it's a fairly accurate model, all the way up to the fig leaf. Some of the stuff may not make any sense until you do the drop shadow. But there's a couple of things that could go different here. It could go faster because it's so small, or it could go slower because it's so hard to see the details. But one thing for sure, I'm not going to be late for work. So whatever happens, we're going to stop in time for me to get to work. Pollen count here is ridiculously high. And I was living on Claritin D during the day and Benadryl at night. But I found that I wasn't sleeping very well. Benadryl, you know, you can't have allergies if you're unconscious. So the Benadryl was fine for that, but it was not a restful sleep. It was just sleep. And so I have not been taking it. Can't talk, arting. But I tell you, the pollen count, I mean, you'd think you'd get some kind of relief. The only relief we get is if there's a freeze in winter time. And everybody gets mad then because it's like our houses are not designed to insulate against the cold here. I love that he's not fit. I don't know if you can see this little pot belly that's going on right there, and he's got a fig leaf over the groin area. But I love that he's not fit. I just think that's hilarious. The model set came with there was a flasher. There was a young lady flashing her breasts at the passing train. There were some leather bears playing in the park. There were couples engaged in various activities, and it was all stuff that train conductors have said they see, because people do that kind of stuff just to shock the trains. And where I grew up, there was a train tracks about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from my house. And I can tell you, we did some stuff. Nothing like this. I mean, we never did. But I may have participated in flashing a train a time or two. Which makes this especially funny to me. But when I was in college 100 years ago, the hotel that I worked with had what they call limo service for the train crews. Train crews are only allowed to operate, I think it's 12 hours. They're only allowed to operate 12 hours without having a rest. I think it's 12 hours. Somebody will look that up for us. Yeah, this toy is only the size of a black-eyed pea. My mom is pointing out that this toy is only the size of a black-eyed pea. Anyway, I worked at a hotel, and the hotel had contracted the limo service for the train crew as part of their staying at the hotel. So every member of the train crew was required to stay at the hotel if they wanted to get reimbursed for staying at the hotel, or if they wanted the company use the company card to pay for the hotel. They could do it either way. They could either get reimbursed or the company pay for it up front. But we were the only hotel they could stay at in town and get reimbursed. So they all stayed with us, and I drove them back and forth in the middle of the night in a van and listened to their stories. And the things people did to catch the attention of the train. Some of the stuff would shock you. It doesn't shock me because I was one of the ones doing the stuff. Alright, so it's tiny. It's very, very tiny. But we're going to start with the shading. There's no fur this time to speak of. Remember that reflective light is what actually gives it roundness. When you're shading stuff like this, if you don't add the reflective light in, it makes it look flat. That is a big belly. I don't think that chest does that. I think that chest, I think I filled this in with my imagination here. I think. Yeah, that makes more sense. Sorry, I had the other side of his chest, and I can tell you what happened is I had moved my head over to the side, either to the left or right, and when I did, I saw more than I should have saw. I saw more than I should have seen. It's important when you're doing stuff like this to keep the same view the whole time, especially when you're doing something tiny like this, because once you change your view, once you change your viewpoint, you'll add in perspective that's not there. If you add in perspective that's not there, like sometimes I can see this hand sticking out, sometimes I can't. And who knows, maybe I bumped the table and actually shifted this little thing because it's tiny. there's every bit of possibility that I bumped the table just enough to cause it to move. Alright, let's clean those lines up. Tiny. I think I've got a little side recording going on over here that I use to make the short every day when I post one of these videos. Every day when we go live, after the fact, I upload the short, a 1-minute version of the same video. But I can only do that because I'm recording it on my phone over here beside me. But I think my hand's been in the way the whole time. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, let's start shedding in them shadows. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're way ahead of schedule. See what I mean? It's one of those things because it's so small. It's going way faster than normal. Couple of things about this magnifying lens. I set it up last night, and it has a cord. Just like Wile E. Coyote, I about pulled the whole table down trying to escape, trying to get out of here last night, because of course my foot got tangled up in the cord. Wile E. Coyote, super genius. All right. Lost that little triangle of light right there. That gives it its shape. And then the other thing I noticed this morning about this magnifying lens, you see this refracted light right here? Yeah, I came down here this morning and I was like, huh, I'm amazed that didn't start a fire. I probably should have made sure to cover it, put the lights out, something. Instead of just leaving it on with the LEDs shining through it. It would not have been funny because the studio is directly underneath our bedroom. Probably could have drawn this a little bigger. Then I think I would have endeavored to put more detail on it than is actually there. You know? Like even now, I want to put shape in that face in the shadow that I can't see. And it's real easy to draw stuff that's not there just because you know, that's vision is funny. You know, you think you see stuff all the time and you don't. There's a dollar size tunnel in front of your face that you can see from both eyes, if you can see out of both eyes and if both eyes work properly. And everything around that's peripheral, your brain fills in with information it got the last time it looked around the room. And so it doesn't really see stuff the way you think it does. And so the last time you looked around, the last time you saw a naked man laying on the ground, maybe you saw both sides of the chest. Maybe you could make his nose out. I don't remember the last time I saw a naked man laying on the ground. But I'm going to say it's rare for me. But I have looked at this toy from various angles, and I've seen parts of the toy that I can't see from the angle that I'm sitting. And so guaranteed, I'm filling in stuff that I can't really see. But I think this is actually fairly accurate. I think this is actually fairly accurate. So I'm gonna call it done. I've got some harsh lines here. But I think if they weren't there, you wouldn't. There should be, you know what, there should be a reflected light right there. just a little bit right there to separate that from the shadow. Yeah, I'm looking over here at my recording. My recording is going to be, the whole video is going to be the back of my hand. See, and I'm trying to add thickness to that leg, to that shadow on that leg. And it's just not there. So, it is wicked small. But I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Let's see. Safely eject the camera. Ha! It could be dead on. Nobody know the difference because of how small this is. Move this magnifying lens. You know what, let's just take it down so we don't start a fire. Alright. I think that's funny because, you know, prove it's not perfect. Look how tiny that thing is. prove it's not perfect. Here, that's probably the best. That's probably the best way to view it. Next to the enlarged image. Next to the enlarged. All right, guys. I'm calling it. I'm put today's date on here, the 17th. Yeah, I can't do a whole steady diet of these, but this is fun to do once in a while. Because again, it'd be real easy for me to sit here and just keep trying to add detail that I can't see. Get that with a little fixative. Here, this is what I was talking about the other day. This was, and it's almost empty. This was like a $9 can of matte finish fixative. And you can see it's got a picture of art supplies on the front of it, is what makes it $9. This is a $2 can of Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel, which does the exact same stuff, exact same thing. Probably puts down a thicker coat faster, and you know, $2 versus $9. And the difference is this doesn't have a picture of an art supply on the front of it, but they're both acrylic binders, so there's really nothing to archive there. There's really no reason for it to be different. But One is made for artists, and the other is made for tag artists, people tagging trains. You know what, let's move this a little closer. And alright, that should have the lag caught up. Guys, appreciate it. I like doing this every morning. This is sustainable. I was gonna draw anyway. I might as well draw with company. But Mom and Dad and anybody else who showed up to watch, because we had at least one other viewer, but it doesn't look like they commented at all. We didn't see Claudia. Claudia, we miss you. But I will see you all. You know what? I'll probably see you all tonight, if you're so inclined. I'm gonna do the Artistic Biker live tonight around 6:30 Texas time. I have no idea what that is around the rest of the world, because we have daylight savings time. But have a great day. We will see you tonight. Peace out, everybody. And then we freeze.